All right, so we are reconvening at 7:15 to return to open session. There was no action taken, so there's nothing we need to vote on coming out of the executive session. We will roll into information items and the chief appraiser report.
All righty.
Yeah.
Thank you. From an appraisal standpoint, we're at the point in the year where we're certifying the appraisal roll. And the first thing that happens in that process is the ARB needs to complete at least 95% of the protests that have happened, and then they need to approve the appraisal records. They did that on July the 20th. Monday was the 20th of July. We ran reports on Monday the 20th, and we were able to get all of the certifications done for all 12 entities, because we actually also send information to Bluffdale, Glenrose, and Godly ISD. And we got those sent out on Bluffdale. Yeah, they have a tiny bit that comes into Hood County down that way.
I didn't. Okay, no, you're right. Okay, yeah. I didn't think about that, but you're right. There's a touch.
Yeah, we just have a little bit small portion that we certify to them. So all the rolls have been certified, and I'm glad to say that they've been certified early, because by statute we don't have to certify until July 25th.
Gosh.
Which that's Saturday. So they all got the information. I got a lot of thanks from the tax entity saying thanks for getting this stuff out so fast. I'll save that for collections. The other part of the appraisal part of it, roll certified, we only have 25 protests left.
Oh, wow.
To deal with. And
that's really good.
They're all one tax agent, O'Connor and Associates, and we're going to hear those in September. They basically, the rules for a tax agent are kind of different, and that is that if I schedule a tax agent, and they're already scheduled at another appraisal district, they can conflict out and say, hey, we were already scheduled over here first, and so we have to reschedule. That's kind of what happened here, was that we had a scheduling conflict, and the law is in their favor. So we say, okay, then we'll schedule. So Kelly and I both were really hoping that we would be able to certify this year with 0 protests, but we got 25 still. Speaking of Kelly, y'all have all met Kelly. Kelly is my new deputy chief appraiser.
Congratulations.
Kelly's not new to this job. He's been in this organization for 22 years. He's done everything from residential to agriculture to commercial. He's, for the last, all the time I've been here, he's been our senior commercial appraiser. And he appraises everything in downtown, everything up and down 377. He's the one that gets to deal with all the tax consultants that have those properties that they represent. He does a good job. He also handles all of our litigation too. Any lawsuits we get, he's the one that's going to negotiate initially with them. And he's been handling all the arbitration, but we're kind of shifting some of the residential arbitration off to another employee a little bit. So, but he'll continue doing all the litigation, but he's been assisting me in a number of things. But he's getting his feet under him, and I think he's going to be a great deputy chief as we go forward. Collections. We will start Monday working on the effective and rollback tax rate calculations for the taxing entities. That's where we have to run some additional reports out of our system so that we can fill in all the forms. If you ever remember filling out a Form 1040 for the IRS, that's what the effective rollback tax rate calculations look like. There's 82 lines that have to be. Now, fortunately, we don't have to fill in all of them. There's a lot of them that are like, take line 6 and multiply it times line 7 and divide by line 22. Yeah, that type of thing. But there is still a lot of information that has to be entered by us. And then we will generate publication notices for the entities, and so that things can go in the paper, because they have to have things in the paper so many days before they can sit down and adopt a tax rate or anything like that.
So we're generating them. We're not publishing for them this year.
That's the plan. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the plan.
I knew we were changing. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. We're trying to save that cost. And plus, the hospital district's a real good example, because they are trying to figure out when they're going to have their meetings. And so we want to say, look, here's the document. Now, y'all go. But I tell you what, it is hard having a newspaper that only publishes once a week. And when the laws say you got to have this in the newspaper 10 days before you do your meeting, and you can't, it's really challenging to find out when we have to get all this stuff done so they can get it to the newspaper.
Yeah.
Did you ever, Meg, did you talk to that lady, Nancy, about, was she a little more easygoing on the publication deadlines or getting the information to her?
I have a good relationship with her through all the years of getting the publications in the paper for the entities, and she is very, very nice and gracious to extend those deadlines for me when it's needed. If it's at all possible and that paper hasn't gone to print, she can get something in there for me generally.
Good.
Well, I think it's imperative for the entities to call the paper and say, reserve space in this paper.
Yeah.
And we'll get you the stuff that's going to go in the spot. But like Dave Eagle was telling me the other day, they're making us get it to them by Monday so that it can go in the paper on Saturday. And he's like, we got to do all this stuff. And I was like, when we talk to him, see, she's like, you know what, if you get it to me by Wednesday, we'll be good. So we're kind of hoping that we can kind of use some of our leverage to ask Nancy to saying, look, all these entities are up against this really, really bad statutory deadline. Can we get it to you by Wednesday instead of Monday? And we're going to try to help them be able to do that. So that's going out. That'll start Monday. I do want to report on our vacancy of Mr. McDonald. We sent out the letter really almost the day after he resigned. And state law says that once the resignation came in, that I have to send notification to the taxing entities and basically say you have the right to nominate an individual to replace him. And you have 45 days from the day you receive my letter, which is roughly around August the 3rd, August the 4th, August the 7th. So I've received three. I've received three nominations, or three resolutions, I should say. Yeah. Will others come in by August the 7th? I don't know. I've received a resolution from the city of Granbury. I've received a resolution from Hood County, and I've received a resolution from Granbury ISD. Our three largest entities. Yeah. Granbury ISD has nominated Eddie Rodriguez as an individual to be considered, and then the city of Granbury and Hood County both nominated Stephen Ranke, Reinke. I know Mr. Rodriguez, but I don't know Mr. Ranke. What I plan on doing is at our August meeting is putting this item on the agenda. Your next job will be to cast votes, make a motion, cast votes on which one of these individuals will replace Mr. McDonald. Mm-hmm. And if I don't get any more nominations in, you'll only have to pick between two. Yeah. So, and right now I haven't heard of anybody else that's got anything on their agenda. So this may be the only two that we'll have to choose from. One thing that we haven't done yet is we haven't vetted Mr. Ranke from a standpoint, because you have to live in the county for 2 years. You have to actually reside in the county. Can't be an employee of a taxing unit. So there's some things that we need to kind of make sure that he is qualified, but I don't really know any reason why he wouldn't be. I don't think his number of years being here is an issue, and I don't think so. I think he's a realtor.
I think so.
I'm sorry?
He lives in Mallard Point.
Mallard Point. Okay. So I'm sure there's no problem with. In fact, there was one individual that the city had thrown out that they might consider nominating. And it was an individual that I think was on the Acton Municipal Utility District Board. And so I called Mayor and said, Mayor, I'm not going to, I don't know, but I'm just wanting to let you know that the law does say that they can't be an employee of a taxing unit. I said, one could argue that AMUD was a taxing unit. They don't levy a tax now.
But they have the ability to.
He's also not elected. He's an appointed member. I said, you need to talk to Jeremy and get Jeremy to do a little research into whether or not he's actually eligible to serve. I said, if Jeremy comes back and says he's eligible, I said, I I won't argue. But I said, you need to vet him a little bit. Mayor was like, thank you so much. We'll look into it. And then they nominated somebody else. So I don't know whether Jeremy said that, yeah, that might be him being on the board, not elected.
Right.
I mean, Eddie Rodriguez was on the city council, but the law specifically says if you're an elected member, you can serve on this board.
Mhm.
But I don't know about an appointment to a board of a taxing unit.
Right.
So Jeremy may have said, that's too
risky.
gray. And so maybe they just went a different direction. I don't know. I never got another phone call back though.
Can we, staying along those
Yeah.
lines, request a resume from both of those gentlemen?
I think so.
I mean, that way we at least,
Yeah.
I know Eddie. I know who Mr. Ranky is, but I don't know, he's a realtor, but I've never worked with him, so I don't really know.
I think that's very
like to have some
appropriate. Since
information
the
on both
board's
of
going to
them
have to
so we
make a
could-
decision. You
Yeah.
should have something to look
I
at.
would like to have some information we compare it side by side.
Okay. And that shouldn't be a problem. We can ask that probably tomorrow of both of them. In fact, we may have Eddie's resume
Well,
already
let's
here
ask
on
them.
file, but
Let's ask them for new ones.
we'll ask.
and-
Yeah, we'll ask them both. That's all I got. It's been a busy week.
Yeah.
Yeah, finishing up ARB,
A lot of moving pieces.
getting the numbers ready. Ava with the city of Granbury was wanting to know if we could have all of her stuff done by Monday, and we're like, we're not even going to have all the reports run by Monday. And I'm not required by law to certify until the 25th.
How's our financial audit coming?
Oh, it's good. It'll be on the August agenda too.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
That was, I thought about that. I thought about it earlier and then forgot. I was like, we haven't had an
Yeah,
audit
thank
yet.
you for bringing that up. But no, they came, they finished up, and I guess they're in the writing stage. We got an indication from her. We just called her. We were curious, how did it look? And she came back. She said everything looked fine.
As the mayor asked me this afternoon.
Oh, we did? Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. No, she is supposed to be here in August presenting it. So
Excellent.
I wish we could get her to maybe start that audit a little sooner.
Yeah.
But when
do
we
we get on
called her
there?
up this year and said, "Hey, it's February. When we're going to get on the list?" She goes, "I'm going to put you on the list in end of June." I'm like, oh, great. That's going to be.
Yeah. How do we move up their
Yeah.
schedule?
Yeah. So we'll try and see about next year. They also, I'll go ahead. This is under the district operations and collections operations. We are also going to have an audit of the tax account coming up in September from the same auditing firm. Now, I need to fill you guys in on something. Back in 2023, when the district was having the troubles with the disapproval of the budgets and things like that, and we had Mr. Petrie as the interim chief appraiser. Eddie Rowe was gone. The board was looking for ways to trim the budget because the entities had disapproved it. And so one item that they looked at, Mr. Petrie, who is from Abilene, was looking at the budget and said, wow, this audit that y'all have was $50,000. $50,000 was in the budget for an audit. He's like, that's really high. He goes, I think I can get that cheaper. And he contacted someone that he knew that was an auditor, and they came back and said, yeah, we can do it for like $20,000. And the board said, sign them up. Well, we got the auditing firm that we have, and they came down and they've done 2 or 3 financial audits now for us. But when we were going through the whole contract process of getting the entities to sign a new contract with us, go from the 1980 version to a 2026 version, one of the statements in there said that we would do an audit of the tax account every year for the entities. The tax account. I said, where's our tax account audit for last year? And Meg was like, I don't think we did one. Well, what happened was, and we haven't. What happened was when they changed the budget and said, we're not going to pay this auditing firm $50,000, we're going to take the $20,000. This $20,000 number was only for the financial audit. It wasn't for the tax audit. The other auditing firm was charging us $50,000, but they were doing not only a financial audit, they were doing an audit of the tax account, and they were also doing an audit of systems and controls. So
Oh,
they were
wow.
performing 3 audits for $50,000. And when they were looking for ways to trim the budget, Mr. Petrie, not realizing that, yeah, we need an audit for financial and we need an audit for tax. He's like, I know someone that can do it way cheaper than that.
Yeah.
And they could. But now we've gone back and talked to Kara and said, Kara, we need to come back in and do an audit for, let me think about this, 24 and 25. Oh, no, no. She's going to be coming in and do an audit for 25. We need her to also do an audit for 24 and 23.
Correct.
Okay. Now, 23 and 24 is not in the budget.
Right.
But we do have some money. If y'all recall, we have $50,000 in our committed fund for litigation. And we also have money in the litigation that we can do. And I've already talked to Braden about the fact, does the board have the authority? You're the only ones that can pull money out of that committed fund. But I said, does the board have the authority to pull money out of that committed fund and repurpose it for something else? And Braden says, yes, they do. So it's like we've got the money to do the 23 and 24 tax account audit, but we need to get the 23 and 24 tax account audit done.
But in theory, that's an easier audit than a full books audit because it's just one account showing money going in and money going out.
Because
to
I
the
mean,
entities.
they paid, we deposited it, we dispersed it.
Yeah.
And so it should be.
You're not running through checkbooks of what all companies were paid for services.
Yeah, and not having to look at retirement and,
Yeah.
and all that other sort of stuff. So, but I did need to bring that to you guys because when they took it out of the budget, and I wasn't here, not that I would have caught it. I hope I would have caught it, but I wasn't here when they made that change. And so I show up and I'm like, okay, wow, that's a pretty good savings, 50,000 to 20,000. Wow. I'm glad we made that change. We saved a lot of money. And then when I started looking at the contract, I'm like, oh yeah, we have to do a tax audit too. And did we do that? It's like, no, we didn't do that.
Yep.
And Kara, being a new auditor, didn't know that we needed it done. And she wasn't asked to do it.
Right.
So I think we need to write that problem and go ahead and get the 23, 24. But she will be here in September to do the 25 tax audit for us. And we actually have that one in the budget. It's the 23 and 24 that we did not have in the budget. So I need to bring y'all up to speed on that one.
Yeah.
The mayor reached out to me about a week ago. The governor has announced a new tax plan for schools,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure you know about.
I may have heard a little bit about it, but go
About
ahead.
80 representatives have signed on. If you have a homestead, you won't pay property taxes for schools.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor says, does this make HCAD go away? I said, no.
Not if he wants to get his money.
He's going to need the city audit. He's going to need the county. Oh, by the way, everybody who's not a homestead has to pay school taxes anyways.
Yeah.
So you're auditing the same amount. He's just saying, oh, by the way, there's a surprise buried in this. If the school property tax drops significantly, the HCAD costs remain the same, they get reallocated.
Yeah. So the
And
schools won't have to pay as much, but the
schools won't
city
pay
and
as
the
much.
counties will.
Exactly.
Yep.
Actually, the county will be the lion's share of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because our allocation is based upon the tax levy that all the entities do. Well, obviously, we pay mostly school tax, right?
Right.
And that goes way down.
I have no idea what percentage of school tax is on homestead properties.
Yeah.
But I'd say maybe 50%. Not being
Oh,
unreasonable
actually,
guess.
yeah, it'd probably be.
Yeah, because when you start, I was thinking about a really big number, but then you start thinking about commercial properties and
Yeah.
raw land and things like that.
And
that you
rental
can't-
properties
yeah,
and
that you can't
vacation
put a
homes.
homestead on.
But you talk about even for the city,
Yeah.
a potential $200,000 increase.
Yeah.
See, I actually think this one has a chance of passing.
I think you're right.
It's got enough sponsors.
Well, not only that, but they have a way to pay for it, and that's
Yeah.
increased sales tax. I've seen, Mays Middleton down out of the valley somewhere, Corpus Christi, I think is the area he lives in. But he would file bills every single year to say, do away with property tax, and the bill would get filed, and nothing would ever happen to it. But there never was a bill that says do away with property tax and increase sales tax to 20%,
Right.
because that's how we're going to pay for getting rid of all this.
That's always been my question. Is okay, we're going to do a property tax. Great. Where are you going to find $10 million?
You see, with Governor Abbott now coming out and saying, you know what, I want to get rid of the M&O tax, which is the maintenance operation portion of the schools. And we're going to pay for it with excess money that we're getting from sales tax. And I'm like, okay, now this is interesting, because you don't have to worry about how to fund the counties, and you don't have to worry about how to fund the cities.
Yeah.
You're just focusing on the schools. It's almost like a pilot project to say, if we can focus on the schools and solve this problem, then maybe we can focus on cities and counties and solve that problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you might have a situation where if they fix the school problem, everybody may say, well, I don't really have a problem with city tax.
Yeah. City and county taxes are small.
I don't
Yeah.
have a problem. I mean, people that live in the county, that's just, they're paying their county tax and their school tax, they're like, yeah, I don't have a problem paying that. I'd rather pay this amount than pay more sales tax.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it may shift the conversation, I think, because he's come up with an idea of let's do away with this, and here's how we're going to pay for it. Now, you may have some people that are like, well, I don't want the state being in control of how we run our school. Well, that's a different problem.
Yeah.
That'll have to be figured out. If the state's paying for everything, you'd think they would come in and say, we want you to do it this way.
Yep.
I don't know.
Definitely could be a possibility.
I mean, and I'll say this, I think you're right, though. It's more plausible that it passes this session, because every other session that like Senator Middleton has gone ahead and put that, or just eliminate property tax bill forward. It's been in direct contest with what the governor's agenda has been, which was just going ahead and increasing homestead exemption and
Yeah.
increasing property tax.
Well, and even Senator Betancourt.
Yep.
You know, he's been a big proponent of just increase the exemptions.
Yep. So now that it's going ahead and you're transitioning from a Betancourt mindset to a Middleton mindset with the governor's mansion, you're going to get the party of legislators up in Austin to actually go ahead and say, okay, we'll pass it.
Is Middleton, though, going to become our new attorney general?
If he wins in 2026, yes. And that would mean he would have the ability to enforce it through his office to ensure that it's enforceable, and fight any court contests in there.
He just won't be there to file the bill and argue the bill.
He'll have somebody else to
Yeah.
file it. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an interesting session.
Yeah.
It really is.
So one question, not to change the subject, on the budget. Is it beneficial, because I don't think it's in here, to put in a page that says, with this budget, here's what each entity is paying?
Oh, I will.
Okay.
That's my allocation page. I just didn't put it in here because it was going to be all wrong. I
Understand.
can't do the allocation page until I know the tax rates that the entities are setting.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I just left it out on purpose. I'll also have another page saying, here's what all the employees are and here's the benefits that they get. I got to put that page in there too. And I just purposely left them out for this workshop.
Okay.
Because I just know how it works. People will get it and they'll look at it and say, well, this says, no. We had one that said, this is a sample. All these numbers will change. And everybody's like, but you said I was only going to pay $60,000. I'm like, yeah, did you read that?
Yeah. You didn't read the bold print? Yeah.
So it's better just to leave it off and let them wonder where it is. But
That I
it
can
will
understand.
be there on the adopted one. But again, on the adopted one, it will be an estimate.
Yeah. Because they haven't passed
Exactly.
their numbers until October. So
Yeah, if we were to wait until September the 15th to adopt the budget, I might actually have more accurate numbers then. But I'd like to go ahead and get the budget adopted and out of the way, off the table. And then I can just alter that one page.
Yeah. And tweak it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, guys.
All right. Is there any other questions, any other business? Then I would say we are adjourned at 7:40. Oh, wait. You're right. Next meeting. So at the moment, we're on the agenda for August 20th. Does anybody have any discrepancy with that date? Good. I show to be good.
I'm showing to be good. Fine.
All right. And we will stay on August 20th at 5:00. Anything else I'm forgetting? Because I forgot that last month too. All right. Then I show we're adjourned still at 7:41. We did that in less than a minute.